Hello guys and welcome to a new Wargame video today by me Vulcan. Today I have for you another 2v Tuesday video which hosts Raptor and Boltsauce playing off against Sigmund and Demo in a 2 versus 2 on Hop and Glory. Now this is another destruction game from them. They have to reach 4,000 points in this game, and I believe today Raptor's making use of a French deck and Boltsauce is making use of a Eurocore deck. I'm not quite sure what they're going to play against just yet, but I'll have a look as soon as possible. Now, I can already point out something to start talking about, and that's this AMX-30B. It's not often you see these being used as command vehicles, I'm going to say that. The AMX-30B is a good tank for like sniping enemy units. But as a command vehicle, you don't want it to ever give away its position, and as a tank, it actually has very low armour. So it's still probably just as vulnerable as like a standard CV, except from it costs more. So, a bit of a strange choice of command vehicle, but whatever floats your boat. They do move quite fast off-road, and I'm sure Raptor will make good use of them throughout the game. But you can see Boltsauce is tasked with holding a CV back. And actually, let's take a look at these pings. So you can see that this is actually quite a nice use of pings. Demo is using his communication with Sigmund through pings. He's probably talking to him or typing to him as well. And basically, he's saying where he's going to place his units and then asking his partner to send infantry and recon to Foxtrot by the looks of things, and Sigmund's asking if he should try for this town. Now that's actually quite a good topic to bring up. In Hop and Glory, this town is blue side. Like, if you are going to overextend for this town from red side, you've got to make sure that, one, that the blue side doesn't have any infrared helicopters, and two, that you're using helicopters yourself. There is no way that you're going to get there before the blue team if you use ground forces. So that's the only way you're going to really capture that. The other thing is, I wouldn't be surprised to see the blue team get up to this part of the forest here before the red team does. Because generally that's what happens. The blue team will manage to capture Gulf very quickly, and the red team will manage to capture Echo pretty quickly. Although Echo's a weird sector. Now it's very easy in Echo to hide behind this mountain. This sort of big hill does block line of sight to anything on this side of the hill, unless you have recon in this open area, which can easily be sniped. You can also have some weird infantry combat going on with using line of sight. If like infantry travels up this side and then clashes at the top or peeks over. Generally if infantry peeks over it gets destroyed by anything on the other side, but generally, you know, you can kind of defend by having like a line of infantry along the edge here, which does make it defendable for the blue side. So it'd be interesting to see how much emphasis is put on Echo throughout the game. But I'm looking at most of the contention happening at Gulf, to be honest, because generally this open area here is really where stuff goes down normally. Well, at least in a Conquest game. Now this is Destruction, so it may go completely different, but I'm not entirely sure yet. So let's just have a quick look at the unit composition. Looks like we have 4 M113s with probably Panzer Grenadiers in them at the start. I wouldn't think that Boltsauce would make use of Jaegers, mainly due to the fact that Panzer Grenadiers are a lot more versatile. Then we got 2 M113s with probably Fliegerfaust, and then a lot of tanks, blimey. 2 Leopard 2A5s, a Leclerc, and they are covered by only 1 Flak Panzer Gepard A1. He's got to be careful about that. Now, there isn't much of a push going on early. You can see that Sigmund has used Mi2s and these Mi24As to actually put infantry into this town rather than push hard into this town. Probably got told by Demo not to do that. Over on this side, one thing I probably should have pointed out is the UAZ actually moved from India on its own to Juliet. That's incredibly risky. If a helicopter came up and sniped that, that'd be, you know, it'd be very easy for the blue team to come along and capture that for themselves, and then they'd have a reinforcement point from here. But what he's decided to do is rush up this UAZ using fast move, dropped it into the sector as soon as he can, and now he's reinforcing from this reinforcement point instead of having all of his units at Delta and then getting to Juliet late with them. So it's an interesting tactic, and Raptor's already using these AMX-13s to arty those units. Now, if we have a look at Raptor's composition of units, he's got these Commando Marines that were brought in by these pirates. We've got the AMX-13 VTTs here, which are probably going to have Mistrals in them. Then we've got AMX-10Ps, probably have Chasseurs, and the VTT here probably has a Milan F2. There's a Rassit there, which has exceptional recon, really nice for covering this ground here across the Foxtrot. And then he's got an AMX-30 Ronin 3 and an OL Noir to defend the air. Oh, Jaguar A came in there. Oh, did manage to kill off a Tunguska by the looks of things. Don't think Demo turned off his twin radar quite quickly enough, because he has done on this one, so he does definitely know how to do that. So, decent opponents today. Over on this side, it looks like there's been a ping here to send the MI2s towards this town, and it looks like they did, but they did get shot down. So they know that there is some infantry in this area now. And now Demo is asking the Topazes here to move up to this tree line to check out if there's anything in there. Now Boltsauce brought up his own Alouette 3 to provide recon for this side, but I'm surprised that he hasn't already pushed these tanks up into this tree line. Like what I was saying before, it's very easy for the blue team to get up there easily, unless they get cut off from the side, but that doesn't really happen very often on this map, because people don't send tanks down the middle and then come across. They always go round. It's really strange. Like, you could really catch someone out if you came down here and then went across like that, but people never do. So over on this left side, a couple of scouting MT LBVs coming down, and the artillery there looks like it was trying to hit these PTUR Conquers squads, which were probably spotted by this Alouette 3. Jaguar A coming in again though from Raptor, trying to find another anti-radar snipe onto one of those Tunguskas. Oh, and another one. Not sure how many of those he has on his deck, probably the 3. I'm trying to zoom in on it there, sorry about the camera being a bit dodgy, it didn't want to lock on. Never mind. Now, actually, over in the centre part, this is all Sigmund stuff. Now, Demo's pushing hard on this side. He's got these T-72s and the T-72Bs covered by the PTUR Conquers and the Tunguskas. And he's sort of making a line in order to push across Echo. Over in the centre here, this is all Sigmund stuff. You've got Sigmund covering the town with a lot of expensive units. These Commandosi cost 40 points each, the Motschützen cost 20 points each, and the FJB cost 25 points each. And look how many squads he's got here. Including the APCs, you've got to factor in those, and the recon, and the anti-air, and all that sort of stuff. But what is he defending against? Pretty much nothing. It's not very often you see people push into Foxtrot. You might have at the start of the release of Wargame Red Dragon, because there was this OP thing called a Smirch. But yeah, now it's kind of, the resistance is just futile there. There's no point in just pushing into that, so people don't bother anymore. So you can get away with putting less troops there. It's sort of like the amount of troops you want is similar to what Boltsauce is here, but have it here instead. Because these Panzer Grenadier squads are only worth 15 points each, and they're very effective at defending. Anyway, meanwhile on this side, the Topazes were sent even further forwards from this tree line, and now it looks like there's going to be an engagement from these 2A5s onto these T80Bs, and my god, 2 shots from each of these 2A5s. Just picking off those T80Bs, no problem. Like a knife through butter. And, well, they lost them pretty easily. They were scouted out by the Alouette 3, I would assume. Over on this side, a small engagement between the Commando Marines and the Razvedka to get rid of that recon. And now we've got Boltsauce bringing up a Leopard 2E4 to the left side, actually. So I'm not quite sure what type of deck that Raptor is using, but it looks like a pretty light armored deck, maybe like a French mechanized deck. But not really sure quite how effective that would be, and I'm not sure why we would choose Chasseur 85s over other decent French infantry. Like, the French on their own aren't brilliant because they kind of lack some better units. And like, the reason you go Eurocorps is because you get the amazing tanks to come with it. Yeah, okay, as French you get the Leclerc, but you don't really get enough of them. Whereas with the Eurocorps you get the 2A5 and the Leclerc, so why wouldn't you go down that route? But anyway, up to Raptor, I guess. And he is going to, you know, be controlling the map with his infantry by the looks of things, but that is going to basically put a lot of the reliance on Boltsauce to do damage with the tanks there. So a strafing run there, actually, from the Jaguar A. Did manage to kill off the Tunguska, which was a nice kill. Actually manually targeted that to make sure it died. And the Peace Shrine there, that just got shot down by an Su-27S. So unfortunately a bit of a loss there. It looked like the Jaguar A brought in the Su-27S, and then Boltsauce's Peace Shrine got shot down by that Su-27S as a result, so a bit unfortunate. Raptor's now being counter-artied by some heavy howitzers by the looks of things. Yeah, these Pioniers. They have a massive HE power of about 10. It's like firing a 1,000 kilogram bomb halfway across the map. It's pretty insane. Raptor making nice use of these pirates to get their 20mm autocannons to kill off these Conkers M squads that are sitting out in the open. Now we can see why Demo pushed forwards these Conkers squads like this, to sort of cover the T-72Bs, but he kind of let them get ahead of themselves and get picked off very easily. And the Alouette, looks like that might just spot this Tunguska. Yep, and that's going to definitely force Raptor to rethink his push towards these Razvedka. A Rafale CF1 and Jaguar A coming in. See if that can get another snipe. Tunguska's got its twin radar turned off. And that Jaguar A quickly flies out of range with its 1,000 km/h speed. Very, very fast airplane there. The Rafale C did get hit by a missile. Fires one towards the Su-27S, another one, but looks like that hit, but just as it went out of the battlefield. So it might put the Su-27S out of commission for a little while. Not entirely sure though. The Milan F2 here being baited to shoot a Ural. Tells the red team that there are these HGMs in the town. Over on the right side, Demo's asking for tanks here. And Boltsauce still hasn't pushed forwards. Again, I think a really strange choice. Maybe he's scared that he'd get flanked by HGMs on this hill. You know, it's very easy for the red team to put a lot of infantry on this hill, as you can see with these FJB and so on. But you know, it's always nice to have at least something here. Maybe even just like a small recon vehicle, so you can make sure that nothing's coming along this big open field. But apparently he's just going to push forwards there with the Panzer Grenadiers and the Marder 1s first. Over on this left side, Demo has brought in the UAZ 469 to capture Echo. It hasn't quite got it in the sector yet, and I think it's kind of baiting Raptor to bring in some airstrikes maybe. Jaguar A's are just normal, it's just trying to clear out any anti-radar AA that has forgotten to turn off its radar. And you've got this Alouette 3 here, which I think actually spotted the UAZ. Demo now ordering in 2 more books. That'll get interesting with all these radar planes flying about. And finally, a push on the right from Boltsauce. Figured out that there isn't much threat there, and he is going to get these tanks into a better position. Now, of course, like I said, they can get flanked, but nobody does that. And he would see it coming with these Panzer Grenadiers anyway. I'm pretty sure these have a long enough line of sight to see any tanks coming down this road. What might have been a nice idea actually in the centre of the map there is to get a couple of HGems, because then if any units did try and come round the edge of the mountain, they would get picked off. And also, if any units manage to take control of this forest, you can also fire from this compound just here all the way across into this area as well. So it's a very good sort of defensive position to have some Milan 2s or whatever. Looks like a T-72 there being taken out by the Leopard 2A4, I would assume. Nothing else really had the range to kill that. Probably got a sneaky side shot because it was in an ambushing position. Now the Leopard 2A4 continuing to just pick off these stray APCs. He's going to reverse that. He saw the MiG-27 coming in. Really nice move there. And it looks like that does mean that MiG-27 is going to get shot down for free. Really nice read there from Boltsauce. Reversed that Leopard 2A4 away from that airplane and allowed his anti-air to shoot it down. 2 Mistral Z paying off. And now this Igla N squad took a shot from the Leopard 2A4. I'm surprised that wasn't a one-shot kill. Must have been a bit off. But I'm sure as soon as they come into sight again, they will be taken out. Oh, Mirage F1C. Not very often you see one of those. They are the anti-air variant of the Mirage. Oh, 2 of them. Not quite sure what he's scared of. MiG-29 here from the opponents. And the Commando Marines, ooh, they've managed to push over the centre here. Are they going to get enough shots onto this UAZ to kill it? Oh, a track transactional hit. And they did manage to kill it. Oh my lord, the machine gun there paying off. Jaguar A coming in. Is that going to get taken out by the books? Not quite. Commander Marines making a run for it now. Not sure if they're going to get away, but they have done their job in taking out the command vehicle from Echo. Now those Commando Marines were in this forest, and they obviously were pushed up over the hill here in order to find that command vehicle. So really nice job there by Raptor with those Commando Marines. Tornado ECR coming in. Sure, he's going to try and get a few anti-air kills with that. Never mind. Evac straight away. Didn't even get close. And some mortars here being used to stun this Leopard 2A4. And then he tried to push forwards his T-72 to attack the Leopard 2A4, but didn't really work out because a flanking shot from this Leopard 2A4 in a really nice position did manage to take it out. Has been moved out of this forest now. Is there anything going on the right? Doesn't look like it. Boltsauce trying to push forwards some Marder 1s here and the Panzer Grenadiers, but it's going to have one taken out by the Conkers M. Looks like most of the contention throughout this game is going to be occurring on the left side, with Demo trying to take on both Boltsauce and Raptor at the same time. So the reason this is going to be really hard for him is because they have like double the micromanagement to work with. You know, 2 versus 1, that's what makes the difference. Whereas points isn't so much an issue. But again, a lot of wasted resources in the middle. It looks like he's brought even more men in. Yeah, Recon squad at least, and these 2 Conquers squads, but there's nothing going to be at Foxtrot. So surely you would expect Sigmund to put more resources into the left side to help out with Echo. Not sure. At the moment though, Raptor and Boltsauce winning 930 points to 335. So they have a significant advantage. It's good to see Raptor moving these AU 105mm away from the counter artillery. It looks like artillery coming in again though. Not quite sure what it's aiming for. Unfortunately, these things are really inaccurate, but they can stun units and do a little bit of damage if they are on target. Oh, look at that. Really nice rocket strike there from these two M270 LRMs. They're managing to stun pretty much all of the tanks in that area. Does that mean that Boltsauce is going to do a push on this side? Seems that his tanks are making a move. He's actually lost a 2A5 here. Yeah, look at that. He's lost a 2A5. That must have been to some ATGMs or something. Pushing forwards these Panzer Grenadiers now, Boltsauce is. Looks like they're going to be attacked by this T-72 M1M though. Take quite a lot of damage from that. A lot of planes coming in the middle. One Rafale and two Mirage F1Cs. Seems like a bit of a lull in the action at the moment. Panzer Grenadiers just being retreated here. And not really much else going on. Some artillery coming in actually to attack these M270 LRMs. He got them out of the way just in time, because that would have been right on top of where they were. Some nice work with the counter artillery there to keep the blue team on their toes, but not enough. The artillery is still going to remain alive, and I'm sure I'll go back to the FOB and resupply. On this right side, it's interesting to see this one lone sniper dude sitting here on his own after his squad looks like was hit by a tank shell. But that's going to keep an eye on the right side for the red team. But again, I think most of the game is going to be focused on this left side, because Boltsauce has already brought up all these tanks, and with Raptor's Alouettes to help with recon and this VBL Mistral, they can push forwards across this open field here on the left and make sure that they're not flanked in the process. And what they've got to be careful of is, one, that this 2A4 doesn't actually run out of fuel, and two, that Raptor splits up these recon helicopters, because currently they are in a squad of 2, and that is something you should never do with recon helicopters. You should keep them split so that they don't both get shot down at the same time. Lots of aircraft coming in again. 2 Rafales this time, and 2 Mirage F1Cs. Tornado ECR coming in, going for any radar anti-air it can take out. And now the Rafales taking on the Su-27S there, and they did manage to shoot it down. Really nice job from those anti-air aircraft. Still got this Rafale C covering the skies, but he's going to get those other anti-air aircraft out of there so that they can repair and so on. The Rafale there coming dangerously close to the Tunguska. And what's going on here? See, he's moving up the 2 squad of recon helicopters, and no doubt they were going to get shot down in quick succession. But now Boltsauce doesn't have any recon, so he's going to be very hesitant about pushing up with these heavy tanks, because you don't want to really walk them into HGMs that you can't see at such long distance. So you definitely have to be careful in this situation. Looks like some more artillery brought in here from Raptor. Now he's got 4 AMX 13 AUs. And they're going to help pin down a lot of these tanks for when Boltsauce pushes, by the looks of things. And we've got to remember that Boltsauce still has these 2 M270 LRMs, and it looks like they're currently repairing and resupplying. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them used before the tank push comes in. because it looks like that's what they're preparing for. It isn't often you see tanks left out in the open like this unless you are going to push pretty heavily with them. If he wasn't, then he would have tanks like here and in this tree line here. Constant anti-air by the looks of things with the use of planes. Not much in terms of ground anti-air. You can see all these leopards are actually left out in the open. The only anti-air that's actually here is these Mistrals. Really nice shot there from the howitzers. Looks like they took out a couple of supply vehicles. Like I said, they're exactly like 1,000 kilogram bombs when they land. They do a lot of damage. Now, one thing that I have noticed is the only recon that the demo is going to have at the front is this Razvedka. I'm not sure if he's going to get away with being able to use this MI2 row, but I did point out that there wasn't much anti-air here, so he might be able to. The Su-22M4P there with the anti-radar missiles being chewed away by the Mirage F1Cs, and now we've got a Rafale CF1 trying to take out that MiG-29, but both aircraft being evac'd, not wanting to engage in a direct dogfight there. Over on the left, another Rafale is going to keep any other units away. And look at that, the Razvedka already dead. We've got the rocket artillery coming in from these M270s, like I was saying. They're incorporated with Raptor's AMX-AU artillery. And that is doing a lot to stun all these T-72s. And now, Boltsauce is pulling back. Okay, that's interesting. MiG-27's coming over with its anti-tank missiles and is going to be shot down by this Rafale. And now Boltsauce is pushing forwards. But the T-72s aren't stunned anymore. Really interesting choice there, unfortunately, from Boltsauce. Means that he is going to be engaging the tanks while they can actually still fire, rather than when they were stunned, which he probably should have. But these two Weasel Toe 2s are going to probably end up doing a lot of damage. T-72B there taken out. A BDRM Conquer's taken out. KPZ T-72M1's not going to be lasting very long at all by the looks of things. Tank's going to work. I really like pushes like this with lots of tanks. Always looks and sounds awesome. Another T-72 taken out. And it looks like Sigmund and Demo have realised that they should probably retreat from this attack. Jaguar A being shot down there though. Oh, a bit of a loss there for Raptor. Alouette 3, or is that? Or were they? No, they were Gazelle Toe 2s, I think. Shot down. The Book M1's managing to shoot down another aircraft. Oh my lord, things are going south very quickly. And he has actually just lost a Leopard here on the road. Looks like that was a Leopard 2A1. So luckily not one of his 2A4s. But still. He's bringing up some Gazelle Hot 2s again. And he's going to use them in combination with these Leopard 2A4s to take out some units, but they just wasted a ton of shots onto the BMP there. The Gazelle's already being hit by the Tunguskas there. And now with another Leopard 2A1 being lost, it looks like trying to juggle these 2A4s to take out as many units as possible, but the 2A4s again shooting at these Mojostrelki. The VBL Mistral there being taken out, and the Gazelle Hot 2s being shot down by the Tunguska. One of the Weasel Toe 2s has been taken out now. And surely it's time for Boltsauce to retreat. He's thrown away so many of these hot 2s, it's actually pretty ridiculous. Just to this one Tunguska. Now the Tunguska did take a direct hit there from the arty. Took 5 damage, but still. That's already done enough work. But if we look at the scores anyway, we're now 2,415 points to the red team's 1,705. Now it looks like the main reason that Boltsauce and Raptor got pushed back here is because what I was saying to do with the map at the beginning of the game. MiG-25 BM there, shot down. But yeah, basically the red team has a reinforcement point here at Juliet, and they can reinforce this side very, very quickly, which means they can always pretty much push back the blue team. But that doesn't mean that they're going to lose less points, you know. The red team can still lose points in this scenario because it's a destruction game, and then they will eventually lose the game. Whereas on the right side, the blue team has the advantage, which is why I sort of suspected that Charlie might be the point of contention, especially with these Leclercs and 2A5s heading up on this side at the beginning. I really thought that's where it would happen because they would be able to support that push more effectively. On this left side, it's going to take them ages to get out of the reinforcements. You can see that these reinforcements have probably been on the road for ages, probably called in when that last engagement was happening. So that's one thing you have to be really wary about when you're doing big pushes like that. If you're pushing a lot of resources in and then all of a sudden like half of them get destroyed, you're going to be in an incredibly weak position which you cannot reinforce, and then you'll just get overrun, you'll lose tons of points, and in destruction that can really make a difference. But now it looks like Sigmund and Demo trying to push forwards here. Sigmund making use of T72 M2s, while Demo is making use of T80As and these T72Bs. Now they are covered by quite a decent amount of AA. We've got Tunguska, we've got the 2 Book M1s and a Kurp and another Strela 10M. And they have the recon of the Mi2 row, but they are constantly being artied by these AMX 13 AUs, which have a decent fire rate, which is able to sort of pin down tanks like they are doing. Now it looks like a lot of these tanks have actually used up their HGMs now, so this is going to put Boltsauce's tanks in a decent position to attack this push, although I say that, but there is still this T72B here with its HGMs. Is there any other tanks? I'm just having a quick look. I don't think there is actually. So yeah, it's just that T72B there. Wow. 8 AMX HOTS coming in. And look at those HGMs fly. And the majority of them missed. Only one actually hit that T72 M2 there. Oh, one more. Do you want to hit another one maybe? Take out one tank. Like so many HGMs just flying past there. And now it looks like with the combination of these AMX HOTS and the Leopard 2A4s and 2A1s, they are going to push back towards them. The Tornado ECR being shot down there after trying to take out some anti-air. Hot 2s on this side being pushed forwards from Raptor. Trying to take out the odd units here and there, but they look like they might get shot down by these PPZR Groms. Nope, looks like it was the Book instead that took out the last one. The Hot's still very much alive though, and firing tons of HGMs into the front of that T72BU there. Leopard 2A4s making a big push. One of the Leopard 2A4s has been taken out though, and the Leopard 2A1s are badly hurt. Nice final kill there though onto the Book, as both teams seem to be retreating. Actually, never mind. Boltsauce bringing up some more Gazelle Hot 2s now. But one shot there, taking out 2 Gazelles. And this Gazelle Hot 2 looks like it might just get away. Now, use BRDM to Conquer's M's being brought forwards, with the help of these Mi-24 BPs to take out the rest of these AMX HOTS. Some really nice use of helicopters here to clean up some ground forces. Looks like he's realised that there isn't really much infrared AA or helicopter AA to take them out. The long-range radar AA generally has a shorter range against helicopters. So for instance, these AMX Ronin 3s here, oh, they just took out one of those Su-24 MPs really nicely there. The other one got away, took a bit of damage though, so that will put it out of action for a while. So it's like all of a sudden this game's just completely hotted up. Now the red team is pushing back onto the blue team, but it looks like they don't want to deal with this Weasel 1 2. Doesn't look like they'll have to for very much longer though, because the Conquer's M from Sigmund here is going to take that out. And now these Leopard 2A1s are being brought back here. They are going to need a resupply very, very shortly. Now a couple of Mistrals being brought forwards here from Raptor. Looks like they are going to be trying to shoot down the Mi-24 BPs there. But just like constant artillery coming in now. Oh, and we've got the M270s firing in as well, and they are going to actually stun these Mi-24 BPs. It's like everything just getting stunned by this rocket artillery. Doing a fine job there. The Mi-24 BPs being pushed forwards. They are going to come straight into range of these Mistrals, but my god. Okay, the Mistrals did manage to shoot down one of the Mi-24 BPs, but the howitzer shot landed right on top of those two squads. Yeah, they didn't last very long because of that. AMX-30 Ronin 3s there being used to shoot down one of the recon helicopters, but they do have another one there, so that is just fine. A very interesting skirmish there, and pretty much Raptor and Boltsauce are 20 points from winning this game. Sigmund and Demo only there with 2,735 points though, so it looks like this is Raptor and Boltsauce's game. The sort of contention on this left side has really left the red team in a predicament. They've lost a lot more forces than the blue team has throughout their engagements. And yeah, it just seems that it's just gone the blue team's way, mainly probably due to the amount of quality forces that the Eurocorps can bring in. And like Boltsauce's Leopard 2A4s are definitely going to outmatch all of the T-80As and the T-72s once they have ran out of their HGMs. So this T-80A here has actually moved around so much it's run out of fuel. So that's like sitting there on its own. Not really much going on, but I'm surprised they haven't noticed they only need 20 points to win at this point in the game. Surely you just push forward your tanks and get those extra 20 points and kills. Seems a bit strange. Seems to be dragging out a little bit longer than it probably needs to. Over on the right, nothing happened at all, really. A few HGM snipes here and there. Boltsauce tried to push forwards his Panzer Grenadiers and they got killed. The recon there just looking at each other. That's pretty much all that's happened. The middle, nothing happened. All of these resources that were put into the centre town here completely wasted. And yeah, on the left is mainly where everything happened. And to be honest, I don't really expect that to happen, especially from the blue team. It seemed a bit sort of pointless almost. But I'm pretty sure these Leopard 2A1s will end up taking out this T-80A, and that will be game. There we go. And victory for the blue team. So although it kind of looked a bit ugly for Boltsauce, you can see that you did pick up a massive kill-death ratio of 2,805 kills to 1,215 losses. That's amazing for the type of engagements he was getting himself into. Raptor there with a nice supporting score of 1,300 kills to 1,520 losses. And Sigmund and Demo, you can see their scores there. But I think what really turned the tide of this battle is just the way in which Raptor and Boltsauce somehow managed to pick off much more expensive units, then they lost. Like, that's how it seemed to work out. Boltsauce, with that huge amount of kills, is mainly probably just from those Leopard 2A4s. It's a shame I can't see the kill sheet, because I would suspect that one of those Leopard 2A4s probably got a lot of kills, because I think it survived pretty much the entire game from when it was brought in. But yeah, over on the right, really surprised not really much happened there, but you know, allowed me to focus completely on the left, which was good, and you know, really explain why that was happening. Now, I've always got to think about this in a conquest situation. At that point where Boltsauce actually started to retreat his leopards, in a conquest game, that's when, as the red team, you would push straight through and capture the sector there, because you have the reinforcement point close enough to help you out, and that would really like drain the blue team and not allow them to get back on their feet. But in a destruction game, you can't really do that, because it just ends up throwing too many points against the enemy, and then you just, yeah, you lose the game before you even get to the sector, because you've thrown so much towards it. But in a conquest game, it doesn't matter so much. Anyway, yeah, still well played from Raptor and Boltsauce. I really actually enjoyed watching that tank fight, if I'm honest. You know, I always love a good tank fight. I'm a very big fan of the 3-push strategy, although that wasn't quite the 3-push strategy. 3-push strategy is tanks, AA, and recon. And they had recon, they had tanks, but there wasn't really much AA. They were really relying on their airplanes to make sure that they didn't get sniped by anti-ground aircraft and other stuff like that. When the helicopters came along, you really saw how much it started to hurt them, because they didn't have any sort of close-range infrared AA. But there we go. Something to learn from, I guess. And there you have it. You know, 35-minute game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.